Hello, my name is Omanji sinkala, and this is my second podcast. And this podcast is titled "Taking Creative Control." Mainly, the major reason why I chose this title was after my first podcast, someone asked me, as in, how involved am I for as far as my content creating goes? Like, how involved am I in my music production, from beats to whatever to everything? And lately, I started this podcast whereby I'm just sharing stuff about me, yeah, like details that people who would like really like to know. Yeah, just documenting my journey. So I'll simply like start off like from where I left off last time, but since this will be just focused more on me creating my like like me and my processes and like the things that I'm involved in for as far as my content creation goes. So mainly how it all started was I think for as far as creating my own sound and my own content, the first thing I actually worked on was um, beats. Yeah, I think like 20 something, like 2016. Yeah, back then I was like had beats I was rapping on, and those beats were not mine. 2017 I started taking things a bit seriously, and I couldn't make my own beats. So, and I came to understanding that. For as far as leases go and what like copyright strikes and everything like that, as in I started to understand like the business side of music. That's when I started like really like studying, like okay, I came to the conclusion that okay, I can't make beats right now. So as in back then I started out by just like I don't know, using beats by other people, and then later on I started buying beats, like exclusive beats, because from like local producers, because the prices were like a hell lot cheaper than what like a simple list was with. But like you can get an exclusive beat for like I don't know, $10, because like yeah, we had like people who were like and I valued their services and stuff like that. And economical wise, like this is a third world country, so like some people were like so we had certain advantages like that. So like just like there are other producers out there who were making dope beats, but were like selling their beats for way less than what the beats could have actually been. Yeah, I guess we all start from somewhere. um Later on, like I reconnected with a friend of mine. This guy I'd been friends with since I was like I don't like about 4 years old. And so when we got separated, like I don't know, when I was like in the seventh grade. And then like we got like we always kept in touch, but by the time I got back there, like meeting up with him like 3 years later, back then I had started rapping, and I just found out that he had started making beats. So from there we just like I don't know, like vibe the beat. So he would like make a beat as soon as I was rapping, and it was like, so he would make a beat, send it to me, and I would like drop a verse. And he's okay. If you have heard some of my music, of my earlier tracks, he's been like on most of my, he made most of the beats that I was okay, but like I don't know, has made about over 10 beats that I've been on. Yeah, because like I don't know, um my first year recording, I only did like two songs. That was 2016. Yeah, I only did like two songs, but those beats were not made by him. 2017, this was when like something really crazy happened. That was worth documenting. Like for like, I mean, okay, I was like in 2016, I was like very sure that okay, I might want to do like this music, like I don't know, but I didn't know like how far I wanted to take it. So 2017, I mean, I actually bought a microphone. Like back then, I bought like my very first microphone. It was a cheap microphone, like a $20 microphone. So I was like, yeah, I was trying to like get started with my music and stuff. So like, because this was when I was trying to take back control over my creative part, like, whereby I wanted to cut down the cost of like production by learning how to do things myself. So this was like one of my like the very first steps I did, like all learning how to like start creating my own content, which we're going to get to like as we go on. Yeah. So after I got that microphone, like the $20 microphone, I mean, I actually spent the entire year without actually recording anything. And the major reason why is that okay, I just felt like maybe I I wasn't actually like good enough. You feel me? Like I knew I had skill, but I didn't feel like okay, I wasn't yet at that point whereby like I was public about my craft or like I wanted to share my music with the other. There's always that feeling that you get. I don't know if it's more of fear really, yeah. And I actually like spent the entire like 2017. That was one of the things that I actually like to look back at and say like okay, if only I took the step earlier on, because I mean knowing what I know now, because I actually like let my fear of failing actually stop me from even beginning the journey to begin with, you know. So like so after like how did I actually overcome that? I actually like started doing like I spent the entire year like I mean without actually rapping, recording or doing stuff like that. Like I took like a 1 year entire break from music because I just felt like because I let fear like control of my life. So I had to like take back control of my life. As in, okay, I think I talked about this in like a few of my songs because mostly my music is a reflection of who I am as a person. And at the and whenever I'm writing, I'm usually like writing about the things that I'm like the emotions I'm feeling or like stuff like that. Yeah, but I think I talked about this in like a few tracks. So as in later on the next year 2018, I think that's when I did like a roll like I don't know 2018 I did about how many songs. I think I did about 40, should be 40 to 45 songs. And this is like by the time I'm recording this right now, this is 2019. And I have done about 45 50 songs, 40 to 50 songs just this year alone, and most of these songs were done in the last quarter of the year. So I guess that's me just realizing that I'm able to create more content after like blocking out most of the distractions. Yeah. But back to to where I was. So like trying to find my own sound. As in after I met up with my friend, we started working. Like he used to send me beats and I would rap on those beats, some of them, and he's been on one of my projects such as Outcast. He made that beat, and some earlier projects such as what's that song? It's funny when you can't remember your own title because you're always making new songs. He was on what's that song again? Oh my god, he's been on so many, like about 5 to 10 of my tracks at the moment, 10. And I recently started something called the introduction cipher. So mainly what I'm doing here is just trying to showcase like artists from my hood and artists who are okay. Like a lot of people hit me up trying to like collaborate with me, but you know how it is. Like I'm always busy with my own projects and stuff like that. So I wanted like okay, how can I help these people? But and then there are also people are like I feel like maybe the skill levels are not that high. Like I don't know, like I don't really want to like uh collaborate with such talents and so I just felt like okay, let me just humble myself and let me just like try to help. Like, I've always been trying to help out artists, but it's like to no avail really. Okay, I try to put up to help artists, but some of like people like most people just make like little effort. I'm offering them like an opportunity. Like okay, I saw you got skill. Okay, I'll record you. Should do a video and like yeah, like a cipher more like put you guys here and then I'll just like keep on sharing your stuff like that. Yeah, and I'll reduce my resources, my time and everything. And all you have to do is actually just show up. And the majority of them they don't really like actually like follow through, you know, like it's like they don't really want to wake up like on according to time. Yeah, and yeah, that's one of the struggles I'm having right now. Like I did a siphon, I've done my part, and other guys have done their part, but some people are just not following through. Like come on dude, I'm doing everything. For you have to do is show up for the like record it, just show up for the video shoot, simple stuff like that. I mean, like people don't understand what actually goes into all this. For example, like I mean, imagine I'm doing like I got a work right now that I'm doing. So like I can go to work from around I don't know like 7 like 6 a.m 7 a.m. I'm at work. I'm already making writing beats, like writing or during my free time writing a song. By the time I get back home around I'll take a nap a bit, and then around midnight I'm like recording. Maybe up to 2 a.m. I'm done recording. 2 a.m. maybe to 4 a.m. I'm like mixing and mastering the song. 4 a.m. I'm uploading the song. I get like an hour or 2 hours of sleep again. Then I start off like but people like when I'm shooting videos, in fact even when I'm shooting like a video the next day, I'll be up around 4 a.m. and stuff like that. But people when you tell them like okay guys, um I want to help you out with this, like with this video shoot, and like help you with this type of stuff. But the only requirement you have to do is like, can you wake up? Can you be here by? Can you start off around 5:30 a.m.? Like 6, we are here. We start doing, and then like 6 a.m. I mean, it's like people want to like go ahead, but they don't want to put in the work. They don't want to put in the sacrifices, the things that it takes to actually move ahead, and that's like really, like it really like kills the vibe and turns down everything. You feel me? Like, I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. That was the major reason why I wanted to also start this podcast, as in just like get to share certain things with you as I learn them along the way. And back to where I was. So like my friend, he kept on sending me like trap beats, and I was kept on rapping on them. Yeah, and let's remember the title of the song. The title of the song was Speak Up. And I was also done with like a lot, like a few more, like, yeah. So what happened was he got I think, what was that, like so I used to hit him up because I actually like used to write fast, like I work on a project, I'm done, I'm always hitting him up, bro, I need a beat, bro, I need the beat. So what my friend actually did was he said, Omanji, listen, I might not always be here for you, like to assist you, like to assist you with beats and everything, like to give you beats. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to like teach you how to make beats. You get me? So he actually like helped me through like trying to understand the process of like using back then we used to use like the FL, the cracked version of FL Studio. Yeah, because everyone in my hood had FL Studio, like the cracked version. That was like, I don't know, what was that? That was a 9. Yeah, way back. That was a 9. Okay, like like it was like the standard, like so it's always like the cracked version of Visual Studio 9 and the cracked version of Cubase 5. So like that's what everyone actually used. So it was like the standard, like everyone had that. Yeah. So after some time we had to like, I don't like keep on like practice. So it gave me all the basics. So what I had to understand for me to be able to make beats. Now the problem was, let me give you a bit of my background as in playing instruments and whatnot. So earlier on as a kid, I was in a marching band. So like mainly, like the only like drum patterns I actually knew in my head were like those the military type of like marching drum. Okay, you know when you're by, as in a band, it's kind of different because you're just like one small part of a big unit, and everyone is playing different instruments from cornets to whatever, and you don't even control the kick. Someone else is playing the kick, and all you do is play the side drum, the snare drum, I mean. And and so when I got into like trying to make hip hop beats, that was like the hardest thing for me to actually learn, was how do I create drum patterns, because I'm coming from like since I'm like the genre I make is hip hop, so rap to be precise, like so it was more like how do I get these drum patterns and convert them here, because every time I try, when you're from like playing live instruments and then you try to convert it into like those patterns whereby like yeah, tapping into the kick. Okay, back then I didn't even have like a MIDI keyboard. Yeah, tapping into like little things like a kick, snare. Okay, for me that was like the craziest, like the toughest part for me. I started learning beats, how to make beats. Okay, I don't. And one of the major reasons why that actually pushed me into learning how to make my own beats was I wanted to be able to accurately translate how like an emotion or how a sound or an idea that I have in my head. Because what used to happen was, imagine this, like you might have an idea like okay, in your head you know what you want, but you approach a producer and say, okay, my guy, I want something to go something like, I don't know, you give him like a clear like an image of what is in your head, like this is what I want. So and then the guy does something similar, but it's not quite what you wanted, but because you you don't really know how to properly translate that, you just say, okay, I'm an MC, okay, I can rap on any beat, okay, I'll work with this, okay, I'll work with this. That I wanted to get away from that type of mindset of saying I'll work with this, so that I can just work on what I actually need. So I actually pushed on, persevered, kept on trying to understand drum patterns and everything else that was involved with that, like so plugins, like stuff like that. Yeah. And fast forward like a few months later, I was making some beats. My very first beats were like the most basic beats ever, because I only had this like simple like alignments, but somehow I just had fun, just like we all start from somewhere. You would have just a beat with just a kick and a snare, because I don't know, kick and a snare, and that's a beat. That's just like dum dum tsk, dum dum tsk, dum dum tsk, 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 dum. So that was like, I don't know, that was this like that was the beat for a track I did titled Fire. That was just that alone, and actually like did 2 minutes when I rap, just rapping on that, yeah. And recently, yeah. So that was where I started from, like that, like learning how to make my own beats. From there, I kept on like learning as much as I could, tutorials on certain instruments and stuff like that. So I kept on learning, trying to define my own style, And one of the things that actually helped elevated me like to get better with making beats, like to experiment more with sound, was I actually like bought a MIDI keyboard. And after like having a MIDI keyboard, I mean, it actually like changed how I was making everything, because now it kind of like motivated me to actually uh explore these sounds, like check them out and all that stuff. I think that was like that's like a brief introduction on how I started making my own beats. And what device do I use to make beats, and what software do I use? That's what people always ask me. What software do I use? Currently, okay, I started out on my PC, but currently I just like make beats on my phone using like FL Studio Mobile. It's amazing how far like technology has come. Like, back then we were like impressed that you can do this on a PC, but being able to do it on a phone works, because like at the moment 100% of my content is like being created, just is created on my phone, like from video editing to music production to mixing and mastering to image editing to all my to artworks and everything. I'm just doing it right here. And that was okay. That's just a brief introduction to how I started making beats. And for as far as video production goes, I mean, like the very first like video I actually ever recorded was back then, like 2017, 2016, 2017, somewhere there, 2016 maybe, yeah. So the first video ever, it was mainly more of a contest by Vodacom. It was titled the Zamap contest, and it was being held, yeah, as I was saying. It was a contest held by, what was that? Yeah, it was what, Vodacom. It was a rap contest by, yeah, Zamap. And then what they wanted was like a simple freestyle of like you doing whatever you do, your talent and stuff like that. Yeah. So I think back then I think I had like the phone. So I just took out my phone, gave it to a friend. Back then I was using like the Xperia Z. I just like didn't make a pixel camera with my phone, and I gave it to my friend. And he recorded me. I just told him like, I'll just drop a freestyle. He recorded me. Like, I think I did like 3 takes before I actually felt like, okay, this is what I'm comfortable with. This is what I'm actually going to use. He recorded me, and I was done with that. And that was just like, that was the very first time I actually like recorded myself rapping. And time from I think from that time later on, I think I like the next year, like I saved up money. I remember saving up like money for this camera that I wanted to get. I mean, I saved up like $100 or something like that. Yeah. Send it to a friend who was who was in like another country, like trying to get the shit, the forgive my language, the thing for me. And what happened was the guy actually like ate my money. Like he just like, I don't know, he blew my money and just sent me something like that isn't even like worth using. Like it's something, a piece of like, I don't know. So actually it was more like back to square one. So I just saved up, just got everything I had, like saved up. When it comes to investing to things that I mean, like investing in my music and stuff, my content, I've always been like, I always put that first, because that's where like most of my income goes. Like most, like when I say most, I'm talking about more than 80%. Yeah. So I managed to get like a simple camera that was, I don't know, like a power shot something. It was a power shot, I don't know, it's a something like, it was just like a simple like 16 megapixel camera, okay, I think I still have it. It's just a small camera with that was all I had. It was just a very small camera, so I just kept on, yeah, no viewfinder, nothing like that, just a simple screen, just that was 16 megapixels. It was though at the Porsche with A6 something, I can't remember, by Canon. So I used that for a while. Like some of my next videos were made with it. So I recorded myself freestyle rapping. Then yeah, from there, like I started getting into contests by other artists, like like I used to be in different contests led by different, like international contests, like rap contests. So from there I just kept on like trying to improve my skills for as far as video skills. So right now I was like back then I was like trying to learn how to edit every video that I was working on. So from the very beginning to the very end of, like, I don't know, like by the time when I was like competing in contests, that was like, okay, all that I had was like really like real life experience, like on learning, and there was nothing like going to like studying whatever. So it was more like I shoot something. It was a trial and error type of thing. It wasn't like I already know something. It was more like you shoot, like for example, the first video I did was just me shooting, like me rapping off the top right there, right? I mean, the second video I did was the second like 4 videos I did were like me just standing in front of the microphone and just rapping there. Maybe, yeah. And then, like, I felt like that, like just being indoors next to the microphone was not enough. As in, I was in a contest, and that was like a one-day contest by an artist. What's his name again? Futuristic. Yeah. So it was more like you just shoot a video, like on the spot, and you just like, yeah. And I remember doing indoor videos like with the microphone just there, and I felt like, and then I saw what other people were doing, like, okay, people are getting creative with these videos, and I was like, yeah, just sitting in front of the microphone wasn't enough. So from there, I felt like, let me do something different. And the next contest I was in, I think that was like the Osaka MC contest, like I don't know, it's 5 or 6, yeah. I managed to get beyond the top like 100, but I didn't make the cut. So okay, I've been, yeah, skill level, but back then my rap was improving, my music, my beats were improving, my video skills kept on improving. So I took the show outside. Let me try shooting from outdoors. It was actually like my third time shooting outdoors. So I went outdoors, did a bit of that, and I realized, okay, this just shooting a one take type of video is not really working out. So from there I started like learning, okay, how do I upgrade from what I'm already doing right now? So what I actually did was I went on YouTube, started studying like how like a bit of cinematography, like, because online there's always been like a lot, okay, not always, but there is a lot of like content that's out there that can help you out with anything. So I just like I dedicated like I invested a lot of my time into learning, like, okay, how do I how do I properly communicate my message through video. So I started learning like from cinematography to framing to certain things like aperture, shutter speed, and all that other stuff, ISO, and yeah, what camera movement, or what's from contrast ratios to, okay, it was more like it's like from scratch, composition, and you just start like you start to learn as much as you can about communicating images through video. And within like a month or so, 2 months, 3 months, by just like watching about hundreds of videos on everything and trying to learn as much as I can, my skills actually improved a lot. For as far as videography skills, I was using the small camera back then. I even started planning out. First was, I think it was shooting 720p, but okay, it was more like 480p really. So from there I was also saving up. I managed to upgrade to the I think this was like my third camera now. It was the, what's that camera was that? It was the Canon. I remember this was like a bridge camera, so it was like one of those like point and shoot. Yeah, no viewfinder win on this one. It was the Canon SX500 IS. Yeah, I mean, so 720p now. I'm shooting in 720p. Like that was like an upgrade. Like everything was better now. So I started working on that. That was when I actually like started doing my music videos now. That's after getting that camera. I mean, it took me a while to start learning stuff. Like, yeah. From there, after learning, okay, I realized that, okay, now I've got the skills, like I now know how to shoot angles and stuff and all this other stuff and edit and like create something great. And back then I was like obsessed with special effects, cloning, and doing all this other stuff. Yeah, but those other stuff, like, they were like a lot, like very time consuming. at this point I learned how to do like most of the cinematography stuff and all that. So it came down to like, and then I uploaded and then I kept doing shit. Okay. I looked at the video and then I noticed one other thing that I wasn't doing right. It turned out now that my like cinematography skills were on point, I realized that okay, my performance was really like bad. Like okay, my when I'm in front of the camera, like how do I act? How do I shine? So what I actually did was I started like taking a look at okay, who people were shooting low budget, I mean I started studying like stage presence. I mean, like how do you captivate people like just by being in front, like not no fancy stuff, nothing like flex, nothing like that, but just like being. How do you like create a presence that's unforgettable? So I took a look at some of the like underground artists and see who are like thriving at what they were doing and how they were like presenting themselves. So I started. It was more like my journey has always been about this like constant struggle, like trying to research. I would have loved to be going in detail on like most of this stuff maybe in the future. Just if people just keep on asking like questions, and I always try to like give you the answers to some of these things. From there I worked on my stage presence. From I like to like I remember on like one of my songs like Outcast, yeah, the video, that was like my very first like shooting a music video, whereby I'm like okay, I'm like planning out for it. For example, for that video I think I used about, let me see, 1 2 3, I used 3 locations and about how many, like 2 3 maybe, yeah, I used 3 locations, 3 outfits, and no narrative. But this time I understood how to take performance shots. Back then I wasn't big on B-roll. I didn't really understand the concept, the conceptuality of actually like using B-roll, which is like supplementary footage and so forth. So but I understood stage presence at this moment, so I utilized that, did as much as I could, putting in 100%. Made it like the key was always like putting in 100% when you're performing. Like I mean, that was always the key. Like how like give it your all. When the camera just goes on like, and it's short time to roll, after like learning all that, like getting in like my stage performance, then I had to keep on learning from videography. So I always edit my videos, like most of my like from now, like most of my videos that I'm doing right now, like I've done a few. I think I've done like a lot more videos. From there, I've learned a lot, grown a lot as a creator and so forth. And the recent, like I upgraded my fourth camera. Currently, as I'm recording this right now, but it might change in the future. Right now, I'm using the Canon Rebel T6. That's a 1080, shooting in 1080p. That's 720s, like what's 60 FPS. So that's like the slow motion, yeah. So it's more of an upgrade, but so just by that little upgrade and being able like to study about like the things that I've come to learn, and so it has more like elevated my most of, not just the quality but the overall like service, like the content that I'm delivering. So it's more like just is a culture of like continuous improvement. You just have to keep on improving what you're doing. So after keeping up with the upgrades, I had to like consistency. I had to become really consistent. So I discovered and always kept on learning from lights. How do I elevate my videos, like from lighting, how to shoot videos on a budget? Because I mean, I've always like been the broke type. I've always been broke. When you're broke, you actually like learn how to do things on a budget, because you're always on a budget. So like you have some, like you just like you have got like extra cash just laying around. Just like you believe all you have is a vision, really. And all you have to do is just keep going after that. Just keep pursuing that vision, like regardless of what people say or yeah, just keep on pursuing that vision. So, and then like from there, I've done like, I don't know, just this year alone, after getting the camera, I think I did a few. I've done a lot of videos. I'm just doing video by video, Sunday every weekend. I'm only off on Sundays. So Sundays I always make sure I'm shooting a video, like planning out videos. I'm learning about. I've learned a lot, really. Like, every time I feel like you've reached, like you reach like a certain point, and then you just like, get introduced to this an entirely in just a small field, which is really like every time you feel like you've learned, like you have reached the peak of a certain like field, only to realize that there's so much more, like you that you are yet to understand. I think that's one of the things that has helped me like stay humble, because I realized that okay, there's still a lot for me to learn. As far as videography, like that's just an introduction to how I started. So how do I shoot my videos mainly? Number one, I had to learn how to like communicate my message to other people. For example, um I own all my equipment for as far as video production, music production, whatnot. Like so, I would just get a guy who has never like held a camera before, maybe like never like shot on it, like so. Okay, I've after doing it a lot, I've become really good at just being able to get someone like randomly and say, hey, like, do you want to help me out? Yeah, let me teach you this. Like in a very short time, I'll teach the person how to hold the camera and what shot I want them to take, and what movements they want to, like step by step what I need them to do. Like, and I'll get the videos done and get them in post production and then get them and start editing the videos, and I'm done with the video. Like being able to communicate, like being able to transfer my skills to someone else, like to teach them in like a very short period of time. I think that has been one of the main things that has helped me out, because like you can't actually like, and my budget wasn't really like high enough to start hiring people. So what I did was I learned everything for as far as video production, hand movements, camera movement, image stabilization, and everything, and all that other stuff. Yeah, I learned everything, and also learned how it's good. Learn how to teach it to someone else, because the way I was learning them, I would just find a simple way of telling them, okay, you hold this, okay, you just do this, okay, I want you to be moving from this point to this point, okay, just those easier steps. So that's how I just usually shoot them. I just get a friend. Hey, what are you doing? You free? Oh, I'm shooting a video. You wanna come? Yeah, let's go. Just like that, we done like that. So I kept on doing that. And what else? What else? Other content do I create? So like for as far as online marketing, I just kept on studying that. I'm actually doing that, and it's helping me out. What else do I do? As far as content wise, because the question was, how much like. How involved are you in your content creation? For as far as artworks go, I'm doing everything myself. I should say continuous stuff, photography. Yeah, that was also one of like a really fun thing to learn, because it was mostly about me being driven by my curiosity and just learning how to say things differently and appreciate things for what they can be. Because before I even take the picture, like it's more like photography really. More is like trying to see what that would be like in my mind before I actually like take that pic. Like what else can I cover right now? uh Writing. Should I cover my music writing in this? Okay, let me just say a few things about music writing. I mean, uh, so my music writing, when did I start writing music? I started writing music by, first of all, the first things I ever wrote about music were, I think I never used to write even rap. When I used to do battle rap, I never used to write most of the stuff. Yeah, the first I just used to memorize like 4 bars, just keep them in my head, just like 4 bars. How do you forget 4 bars? On my way back from like I make like 4 bars, and then I just keep on saying them in my mind and sure yeah, get them all memorized and stuff like that. And then later on I kept on. I think that's another like podcast when I start like writing and some of the things that I've learned. So these podcasts will keep on coming for as far as people really keep on asking for stuff. Yeah, like keep on asking. Yeah, I'll try to like, maybe I might even start doing videos, because the main reason why I'm just recording audio right now is because I feel like it's a easier setup for me. It's just like I just grab my phone and just start recording and stuff like that, and just send it out, share it out to the world, like just like that. So that was the major reason why. And then yeah, it actually took a lot of courage to actually like start doing this, because mainly at first I was like a bit reluctant to do it. Like, come on, like I mean, because no one, not everyone is really like, like as an artist you're just there, like everyone, like the stereotypical artists are just like they just expect you like to be uploading your music, and in this day and age I feel like just the music isn't enough. You need to put an image, you need to put like a face on the music. Yeah. uh what else as far as content creating goes? I think from there, a lot of things have changed. Really, a lot of things have changed. And then I just want to say thank you guys for everybody who's been with me, like supporting, yeah, being with me on this journey. And Yeah, I'm constantly learning stuff. It's amazing how far I've come. It's amazing what the Lord has helped me to, you know. My advice to people who are like trying to get onto my like this same path that I'm on, like just never give up. Just keep on going. Stay persistent. I mean, you can achieve anything. Yeah, thanks for taking the time to listen. I think this is it for this podcast. But I just wanted to clear like one thing clear out there. Like yeah, for as far as my content creation right now, I actually do everything. Yeah, from directing to everything like that. Yeah, I actually do everything. I feel like the best investment you can ever make is in yourself. Invest in knowledge, invest in studying. Because I might be an artist right now, I'll make music, yeah, but I think I've invested over like 4 years in studying, just being at home, being alone, just studying stuff like real estate and stuff like that. So like it might be musically, but people just say that like okay, I'm good at the music, but I'm also good at other things. Like yeah, I just like I was never a fan of the concept of like limiting myself to one thing or specializing in just one thing or just like okay, this is what you need to understand. The thing about being like cutting your like your time because focus the definition for focus is follow one course and choose success. You feel me? Yeah. So I mean, like, I've talked to a lot of people who felt like, yeah, man, if you want to succeed at something, just focus on one thing. Like you can't really do all this or do all this or do this. I mean, that can relate to how they feel, but I mean, like, yeah, but for me, like switching up things, like doing different things, like also has helped me, like I don't know, keep things more interesting because I feel like success has always been like this process of repetition, and it's more like the more ways I find of doing the same thing in a different way, the more interesting it becomes, and the less likely I am actually to lose focus. Yeah, because the main thing that has kept me going all this time just like the discipline, the discipline, so the thing with the thing that you need to know about being like how I've been able to balance all these things, uh for as far as content creation and all these other stuff goes, directing, because I'm like directing, sound design and all these other stuff, as far as as in how am I able to balance it. The thing about being able to do all these things is that it's more like creating your own curriculum. So what I'm actually doing is uh, I'll get like topics and on everything. So I will simply like remove what's irrelevant and like like the school system just give you everything like yeah. I'm removing what's irrelevant and focusing only like from this field I need what's relevant. What's to my needs right now. What's relevant? What do I need to know? What don't I need? Okay, I don't know. What don't need. I will just keep it aside. You get the idea. So it's all about choosing what's relevant and what you need to get the job done. And the other thing that you need to understand is the the secret that I like to doing everything, to doing like a lot multitasking, a lot of things, being good at a lot of things that you actually like. Okay, I've managed to become like good at most of these things, but okay, I'm still getting better because it's more like constant improvement. But it's more like the difference between a zoom lens and the prime lens, like I'm just talking cameras right now. Yeah, so a zoom lens will like like it has got like a different like lens, like from maybe let's say like okay, let me give you like example of a kit lens 18 to 55. So that's like the differences in focal length. So uh that's like also, so what the difference between that and the prime lens, which is just like maybe a 24 millimeter. So the zoom lens would do like everything good, yeah, but the prime lens does only one thing great. So it was more like me accepting the fact that okay, I might be good at a lot of things, but I just might not be great at one thing. So it was me coming into terms with that, but being and accepting the fact that oh okay, if I do my best, okay. Um, okay, okay. Well, my work might not always be the most perfect in every field because I'm balancing all these things, but I'll settle for my best. When that's like yeah, the satisfaction of knowing that okay, I did my best on this. Okay, I did my best on this. Okay, yeah, I spent like 9 hours editing this video and I've done my very best. It's being able to settle for my best. Yeah, not this the theory of perfection, because perfection in itself is not really a thing, because it's mostly about it's mostly about people setting a standard that, okay, so this is what we call perfect, and anything that comes close to this is what perfection is. So mean that whatever the comparison, perfection is mostly as a result of something being compared to something. So the comparison of something, like, okay, I think this, like like you can look at it like something like that, okay, like that's good, that's a bit nice. So it's more like perfection has always been like a issue of comparison, really. It's more like you're saying that it's dope because it's in comparison to that it's nice. In comparison to that, it's not really the like that song is bad in comparison to something that you have in your mind. Like that work is really, it's not really like amazing because you've got something you're comparing it with. So it was always been that comparison that has always made me understand, okay, like the truth about perfection. So it's more like, yeah, compared to something. Of course, like my work might not always be like among the best, but yeah, I always strive to like do something better. I think I just mumbled about, just keep on talking. Yeah, I'll just keep on, yeah, sharing. Yeah, my name is Omanji sinkala, and for now I think this is the end of this podcast. More podcasts are coming. Yeah, check out my music, by the way. Omanji sinkala.